So at the minute, we've got quite big queues that are forming inside the station. I'll just step out a shot so that you can see. We're being told that's because the services are just so busy following the knock-on effects of yesterday's cancellations after those power outages that happened in the Channel Tunnel. Already, we've seen 2 cancellations this morning. The first departure that had been due to go to Paris-Gare du Nord, and the first departure that had also been due to go to Bruxelles Midi and Amsterdam Central Station. You know, a lot of the passengers who were disrupted yesterday will have been hoping to get on board one of these trains, but it's New Year's Eve. These were already going to be busy services as they were, and they will be even busier today because every spare seat, you imagine, will have been taken up by people who are either trying to get back to Paris, to the continent, so that they can ring in 2026 with their friends and family, or come back to London, and then spare a thought for those passengers on board that train that had been due to go to Paris late last night, instead getting stuck outside of the Channel Tunnel, hearing there from that passenger how there was limited access to toilets, limited power on board. A very miserable time for those passengers who've remained stuck for the past 10 hours. The latest update that we've had from on board that train is that they're hoping to now tow it back to a part of the line that is electrified and potentially get it on its way to Paris. But we've been hearing from a lot of the passengers, not only on that train, but from passengers who were here yesterday, that the communications from Eurostar is what they had described as being quite poor. Now, Eurostar on its behalf says apologise to customers, and it says that it's trying to keep them updated as far as possible. But as you can see, it's very busy here. There will be knock-on effects from yesterday, and there are those warnings from Eurostar that although they are trying to run a normal service today, there could be last-minute delays, there could be last-minute cancellations, and people need to be checking the Eurostar website to ensure that their train will be departing on time.
Yeah, Oliver, I know you raced down for us there after we spoke just after 6 o'clock this morning, but I wonder if you had a chance to speak to passengers queuing there today, because, you know, behind all these cancellations and disruptions are stories about people travelling over the festive period and for New Year's celebrations. I know we spoke to one family who were taking their kids to Euro Disney as a Christmas present, and, you know, the mum was saying that she'd found insurance too expensive because she was living with cancer, and so it was going to cost them thousands of pounds. So the impact of this is huge. It's not just simply trains being cancelled and they might start running again in the next couple of hours.
No, there are huge impacts that come from this, including the fact that it's a very busy part of the year at the moment here in London and in Paris and all of those European capital cities, because people go there for the New Year's Eve celebration. So as passengers had their trains cancelled yesterday and they were told that they'd have to go and find their own hotel accommodation, you can only imagine trying to find a hotel room at this time of year is A, very expensive, and B, very difficult. We met a family of 8 French people who had struggled to find enough hotel rooms. They'd been forced to get hostels for them and their children, where they were going to be sharing dorm rooms in order to have somewhere to stay. They are hoping that they're going to be on one of the trains that are leaving today. The other alternative is for passengers to try and get a flight over to the continent. But again, what's happened there is, with so many passengers being kicked off their trains yesterday, having their trains cancelled, the algorithms of those booking websites have picked up on the demand and the prices have started going up quite substantially.